guys, it's Justine, but you can call me Blondie. For today's video, I'm going to show you how I straighten my hair using the Revlon, I forget what this is called, it's a Revlon blow dryer and a hair straightener to make my hair super sleek. I just got out of the shower and I had my hair wrapped up in a towel for like 15 minutes just so that it's pretty dry, because you don't want to use this blow dryer when your hair is like soaking wet or it's just not going to work very well. First thing I do before I even brush my hair is I put in a leave-in conditioner. I'm going to use this Briogeo Don't Despair Repair Strength and Moisturize Leave-In Mask. It looks like this. I just have a little sample. I got this from an Ipsy bag. But I've used it before and it's actually one of my favorite like leave-in conditioning products, and it smells so good. Most of my tangles are like in the back of my head, like right here, so I really like to concentrate the spray right there, so that way it just makes it easier to comb through. I'm just going to kind of rub that around just to make sure it gets everywhere. And then I'm going to take a wide tooth comb and just brush through my hair, and I brush from tip to root. So then after I do that, I'm going to part my hair where I want it parted. This is probably going to get messed up in the blow drying process, but that's okay. It just kind of gives me an idea of like where I want my hair to go. Also, just to give everyone an idea, my hair is very thin, but I have a lot of it. And it's kind of a like, it's somewhere in between like wavy and straight. I would consider it more wavy. The areas of my hair that are straight when it dries are mostly damaged, and the reason they're straight is because they're damaged. So keep in mind, this tutorial, like with any hair tutorial, it's going to come out different just depending on how thick your hair is and your hair texture and everything like that. So next thing I'm going to do to protect my hair when I blow dry it is use this Chi 44 Iron Guard, which is basically a spray-in hair protectant. I only use this when I blow dry my hair. I don't use it before I curl or straighten my hair because I don't like to wait for the wetness to dry. I use a different product to protect my hair before I straighten it, which I will show you in a little bit. And I really like to concentrate this into the ends of my hair especially. And again, I'm just going to kind of like massage that into the hair just so it's not sitting on top of the follicle. I don't know if that actually even does anything when you massage it in, but it makes me feel like it's doing something. And then next is blow dry time. So I'm going to take a scrunchie and put my hair into layers and just put it in a messy bun up top, and then I'm going to quickly comb through this bottom layer. You don't really need to with this particular iron, but I feel like if you comb through before you start using the blow dryer, it just helps a little bit. And then I like to put mine on the low setting, so that way it's not super hot. I've noticed the high setting, it gets really hot and it makes your hair really hot. So I prefer the low setting. It does take longer to blow dry your hair, but then your hair doesn't get so hot, and that also like helps prevent damage. So, but there's also a cool and a high setting. If you're trying, I've heard if you use this to curl your hair, if you're trying to give it more volume, to use one of the hot settings, either low or high, and then afterwards go over it with the cool, and that'll help like set your hair in place. I'm not gonna be using the cool today though, because I'm just trying to make my hair look super straight, super slick. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Not sure if you guys could really tell what I was doing, but I'm basically taking the blow dryer, doing it mostly underneath, and then curling it inwards. And that just makes the like ends of my hair kind of curl this way. And then occasionally, if like not enough hair on top is getting dry, I'll just brush it straight down right there. So now I'm just gonna go layer by layer doing that exact same thing. And until my entire head of hair is completely dry. So now you guys can see that my hair is pretty much straight, but I want to give it like a really sleek look. A lot of the times I get to this point and I'm done, but for today, like I said, I want it really sleek. Also my roots, not just at the top of my head, I think the top of my head is where you can only really clearly see it, but my roots are not dry. Like that's one downside to this blow dryer, is that it doesn't get your roots very good, even on the low setting. It's really hard to put it right up against your scalp because it gets really hot. So I am going to go in with just a normal blow dryer. I don't even know what this is. Vital Sassoon 1600. I don't know, it's just a really old blow dryer, and I'm going to blow dry my roots real quick before I straighten my hair. Okay, so now I'm just running a brush through it. I'm gonna give it a second to cool down before I can tell if it's like really dry all the way or not. Because I'm sure most of you have this problem when you blow dry your hair, but sometimes your hair is still hot, and so you think it's dry, but then it's just wet and hot. So now I'm just using a brush to brush through the dry hair, and I use a comb when it's wet and a brush when it's dry, because when you use a brush when it's wet, you're more likely to get more breakage. One time I went and got a haircut, and the hair hairdresser, he chewed me out, and he was like, I can tell you've been using a brush when your hair is wet because you have so much breakage. So ever since then, I always use a comb when it's wet, or at least I try to. Sometimes it's just so much easier to use a brush. So now I'm going to straighten my hair. I'm not sure if you can tell, but there are some places that are pretty frizzy. they didn't get completely straight all the way, and it's usually in the back where that happens because I just can't see in the back very well. So I'm going to go over it with a hair straightener, but first I'm going to use this Chi Silk Infusion. It's like an oil consistency, and I'm going to put that all over my hair to protect it from the flat iron, and I'm using about like, well, you can't really tell now, but it's probably about a nickel's worth, which is a lot. You can definitely use less. I would say you only really need like a pea amount to a dime size, and I just went a little overboard this time. I really want it at the ends of my hair, so I'm just trying to concentrate on getting it there. And then I have a lot of breakage like up here, so I'm trying to get some up here, kind of near where my part is, to protect that area. And then the rest, because it does leave your hands pretty oily, it is an oil, so I'm just trying to put as much of it in my hair as possible. And then, just like when I was blow drying my hair, I'm going to part my hair with a scrunchie. I prefer to use scrunchies just because whenever I use like hair clips, my hair always falls out of the hair clips. And then I'm just going to quickly run a brush through. And then I'm going to use the Chi hair straightener. I've been using the Chi hair straightener since 9th grade. It is the best hair straightener, I was in 9th grade like 11 years ago, so I've been using it for that long, and I stand by it 100%. It's just the best hair straightener. I'm just going to straighten my hair, and I go slowly, take a little piece and go slowly down. If you go fast and you have to do like a bunch of, like if you go fast and you have to do multiple like that, it's going to damage your hair more than if you do once, go over your hair once and go slowly. So that's what I try to do. Now the very last thing I'm going to do, just to like give it a little volume, is I'm going to take pieces from the top. And I'm sure you saw me doing this a couple times throughout my layers in the back. I'm going to take it and straighten it back. Let them fall back to where they like originally were. They just help give that a little more oomph up here at the top. And so now I think I'm pretty much done with straightening my hair. I'm not sure if you guys could tell, but that very last layer, there were a ton of creases in it, and that is from the Chi oil being in my hair. Sometimes if that happens and you have creases in your hair when it's been up in a ponytail like that, it could be because your hair is slightly damp, or it could be because your hair is still hot from the hair dryer. But in my case, my hair was dry and it was no longer warm, so it was just the oil kind of helps keep it in place. The very last thing I'm going to do to protect my hair and also just give it a little shine is take a couple drops of rosehip oil and massage that into the ends of my hair. So I'm just going to take a couple drops and just put it on the ends, and then kind of work my way up a little bit. And that's just going to give it some added protection so that my hair is not so dry, because doing this will definitely make your hair dry. When I do this, I will leave my hair straight for several days. Like, I would say I won't wash it for like 4 to 5 days. And I'll just use dry shampoo. Sometimes I might even go longer, just because, like I said, it really, even when you take all the precautions to not damage your hair, it's still going to damage your hair. Anytime you put heat on your hair, no matter what you use to try to protect it, it's still going to damage your hair and dry out your hair and cause split ends, and you guys know. So I like to leave my hair that way as long as possible, like get the max number of days out of having straight hair, so that way it's like kind of worth it. And now I'm just going to quickly run a brush through, and that is it for my super sleek hair routine that I've been doing as of lately. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will leave the like Conair blow dryer in my Amazon store. If I can find the Chi hair straightener, I'll also leave this in my Amazon, not my Amazon store, my Amazon storefront, which is like the Amazon influencer page, in case you guys are interested. And that is it. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.